welcome to Level 1 Game Development Camp. I am your instructor, Ryan Tenney. Alright, in this video, we are going to explore Unity as a program, and I'm going to show you some of its features. So what we're going to go over creating a new project, some of the windows and features of Unity. We're going to explore the asset store, and then we're going to put a few items into a game. So let's get started. First, we're going to open up Unity Hub. And as you can see, we already had a first game from our first video. Let's go ahead and review some of that by creating a new one. So we're going to have a new project. Let's call this My First Game. And we're going to do a 2D game. So click the 2D and hit create. And Unity will load. So it'll just take a few minutes. All right. So we are loaded in to Unity. So as you can see, there is a lot, and it can be overwhelming. But don't you worry. The more you use it, the more you will get used to it. So let's go over a couple of these windows here. So right here in the middle, this is probably our most important, we have what's called the scene window. This is the scene of our game. All right. What I was doing there is I was clicking my middle mouse button and rotating it like that. If you do not have a middle mouse button, I believe you can hit Command or Control or Alt or Command, or yeah, if you hit Alt and click and drag, you can move it like that. Okay, so continuing with this window, we can see right next to it, there's a game window. And that'll show what our game is looking like. And when we press play, this play button at the top, we'll go straight to the game menu. And that's where we will play. Now, I don't like the game window being up there. I want to see it sometimes with my scene. What you can do is you can grab the tab. So click and hold, and then drag. You can drag it down to another window, like so. That way I can look at the game and the scene at the same time. Let's say I mess up and put it up here. Don't worry, you can always go to Layouts, Default, and it'll switch it right back to default. It'll just reset it. But I'm going to move my game scene down here. So now what's this window? We got Project and Console. You may have heard, that's my dog. His name is Gordon. He has a lot of opinions on game development and probably will be chiming in. But yes, so Project is going to be everything that you have that you can put into your game. Right now we only have one scene, and that's our main scene here. Console is going to tell you about any problems you might be having in your game, like script errors or texture errors. Any errors will come up here. The ones you need to worry about the most are the red stop signs. That means your game will not play, and you'll have to troubleshoot how to fix it. All right. Continuing on, the next important one is this hierarchy. This hierarchy window tells you everything that is in your scene. So right now, all we have is a main camera. And as you can see with this little camera icon. Okay. When I click on the main camera, you'll see over here, a bunch of stuff comes up. Well, this is the inspector window. Inside the inspector, it has all of the information about the camera. So we have its transform, which is its position in the digital world. And then we have a camera component. All of these are called components. That's a piece of the object. And then we have a bunch of stuff that probably will confuse you. There's a lot of things to go over. Nothing you really need to know. We just need to know that that is our camera. Okay. Next thing I want to show you, this is a little bit from the last videos, we're going to connect to the asset store. And we're going to download our first asset. So when you get to the asset store and you're logged in, make sure you're logged in. We're going to search for Unity Playground. This is a package of a bunch of objects that'll help us build our first game. When you get here, click the update or download to download. It'll turn into the import. So then we import. And then we just wait and let it decompile. All right, once it's done importing, it'll bring up this little window showing you everything that comes with this package. We're going to go ahead and import it all. So now, we have everything in to get ourselves started. So let's go ahead and add our first image to the scene. So we're going to click on images, and I want to go to blocks. Correction. I want to go to floor tiles. And I'm going to add a grass floor. This is going to make our terrain. All right. So now I got this little block here. And all I did was I clicked and dragged the grass floor into the scene. So again, that is images, floor tiles, grass floor 1. All right. Now it's a little small, so I'm going to want to make it bigger. There are a couple ways I can do that. I'm going to show you a few of the normal ways, and then I'm going to show you the way that I want to do it. So first, let's go over some of these tools. These 6 buttons at the top are your tools for manipulating any objects in the scene. First, we have the hand tool that lets us move the scene. Then we have the move tool. It gives us some nifty little arrows where we can move the item on the X and Y axis. There's also a little block, which if you click it, you can put it anywhere. Next is the rotate tool. These little arrows lets you rotate your object many different ways. Now, if you ever want to get your object back, as you can see while I'm rotating it, you can see this number change. That's the rotation. Same with the position when I move it. If I ever want to get it back to factory setting, I just go here and I zero it out. The next tool is called the scale tool. You can scale it like so to make it huge. Now that makes it nice and big, but as you can see, it's really blurry. So we actually don't want that. So we're actually going to keep the scale at 1. So 1, 1, 1. Next tool we have is called the rect tool or rectangle tool. It has this little box around it. It lets you move anywhere you want. Lets you rotate by hovering near a corner. And also lets you scale. So it's kind of a catch-all. Oh yeah, something else that I always did, something you can learn with the digital. If you ever make a mistake, you can hit Control-Z or Command-Z on a Mac and undo what you just did. This tool lets you move, rotate, and scale at the same time, just like the Rect tool. I use the Rect tool more often though. And then there is available custom editor tools. We're going to pretty much ignore this one, but you are welcome to play around with it. All right, so I want to make this grass bigger, but I want to keep the same quality in my grass. So how can I do that? Well, that's a pretty easy thing. What we want to do is we want to change the sprite. And what the sprite is the image that is rendered on the object. So it's the image. So it's this little grass looking thing. And as you can see over here in the inspector, we have the sprite renderer. So it has our sprite, which is grass floor 1. It has a color, which we can go ahead and change that now. If you click this white bar, it'll bring up this color wheel. You can change the color with the outside, and then you can change the shade with the inside. So let's make it a nice green. Yeah, I like that. You can also change the transparency, the red, green, blue index. You can also use the eyedropper tool to find a color you like. So on and so forth. All right. So now that we have the color, we want to change the sprite to have the same quality. And the easy way to do that, you see this draw mode right here. We click that and we want to change it to tiled. So now what that's going to do is it gives us a size, width, and height. We can make it now bigger without losing that quality. So, and as you can see, if you zoom in a little bit, it tiles the grass. Pretty cool, huh? All right, let's just go ahead and make it nice and big. Oops, not 10, 50. Yeah, that's a nice big tile of grass. Okay. So one last thing I want to do for this video is something that's very important whenever you're making any digital media project. I got 2 words for you: SAS and SOS. What are those, Ryan? Well, SAS is save as, silly. So we want to go up to File. We want to find Save As. So this is going to be our first scene. So let's go ahead and name it First Scene. You know, we can also call it like First Level. We can call it Grassy Knoll. I'm going to call it Grassy Knoll. And then you hit Save. It'll create the scene object. So now if we ever leave this scene, we can come back to it by double-clicking it. All right, well, so what's SOS? SOS is as important as it is in on the sea. It means save often, silly. So just make sure you remember to SOS. save. You can press Control S or Command S, or just go up the file, save. Save, save, save. Because believe me, you'll do a lot of work. You will forget to save, and you will lose all that work. All right. So what did we learn in this episode? We went over Unity. We talked about the scene window, the hierarchy, objects in the hierarchy. If you click one, it takes you to the inspector, which you get a closer look at the object and what components are on it. We also have the project window, which has all of our assets ready to be dragged onto the scene. We even have the game window, which we look, it's just a grassy field, and we don't see our camera. We also learned what a sprite is, because that is the image of an object, and how to move it around with the move tool, rotate tool, scale tool, and also playing around with the transform. And we also learned about the asset store and importing new assets. All right, so that's it for this video. I hope this tutorial was helpful, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.